through. Just going to record this as always. So, could somebody just unmute and just let me know that you can see that thing saying extension work, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. So, as you know, we're into a really good routine that every single time we would normally be having a second form lesson in class. That's when we're having our online lessons, as you know, and every time we start off with a 5 to 10 minute chat like this, where I just sort of introduce you to the topic. And then again, as you know, recently I'm making all the homeworks Hegarty because I'm aware of the fact how tricky it is for you guys to upload things and it takes a long time. And the beauty of Hegarty is that it marks itself. So I then go and transfer that mark across over onto Teams. And obviously I'll keep an eye on it. If you improve the mark, I obviously take your best mark. So absolutely, your number one goal, what I want you to do is to keep going with that. That is what the school requires you to do. If you can just get the quiz done every day and get a good mark on that, you are absolutely doing everything that I want of you, and you will get a good report when it comes around to report writing, okay? If you only take 3 or 4 minutes on it and you only get 10%, I do expect you to go back and give it another go. But if I can see that you've gone and spent 25, 30 minutes on the Hegarty and you've given it lots of goes and your mark still isn't very good, not to worry. We will revisit all these topics again, and I will just transfer the mark you've got across and just make the comment that, you know, you've given it a good go, not to worry. We will revisit all these topics again. Now, I just wanted to flag any extension work should any of you feel that you're rattling through the work quite quickly. And now and again, I can see some of you guys are just picking up a topic really quickly and you've got 100% in about 5 minutes. So for those of you who want to, and only if you want to, I just want to talk you through Corbett Maths, okay? Now, this is only if not only have you done the Hegarty quiz that I've just set you, but you're also pleased with all your marks. If you've gone and got some gaps, you know, some Hegartys that you haven't done yet, or you've got some percentages that you're not very happy with and you think you could improve, I would far rather your first bit of extension work was to go back and fill in any gaps and improve your Hegarty percentages where you think you could improve them, okay? If it's a topic you just don't understand, then just don't do that. So Corbett Maths, okay, I think we've done 1 or 2 of these worksheets in the past. So what I'm thinking is, if you were looking to do some extension work, you go over and Google Corbett Maths. It's spelt like that up there. And then it gives you an endless supplies of worksheets with accompanying videos, just like Mr. Hegarty. And you can also click and get all the answers. So all I would suggest, if you're looking for some extra extension work, once you're up to date with everything else, just go and flip through this whole alphabetical list to topics that we've done in first form and second form, and one that you think, oh yeah, a bit of practice that wouldn't be a good idea, wouldn't be a bad idea, then just go and get the practice questions. Now, it may be that you decide to download those. It may be that you decide to just do the questions on a separate piece of paper. So what I would like you to do, if you want to do some extension work, just choose something that you think would be a good thing to do. Don't pick a brand new topic because you won't be able to do it, and that's what we're going to be doing in the years to come. Okay, so do the questions, mark them. So please mark them first, and then upload them to me over onto Teams. Now, I want us to stay really well organized. I want us to keep the homework tab as the compulsory work that you're expected to do by school. So if you do upload some of these, please don't load them onto homework, load them onto class notes, okay? Now, if you do choose to do this, please could you just send me a quick post letting me know, then I can go and have a look at my end and give you a smiley face and a comment and all of that stuff. All right, so don't just upload it and do nothing, because I don't get to sort of anything pinging at my end to tell me when you've done that. So if you do decide to upload some extension work, it would be great if you could let me know. So just to conclude, I'm totally happy with you guys if you are just getting the quizzes done. All right, that is my expectation of you and the school's expectation. But I wouldn't want there ever to be a situation where you felt you'd hardly had any maths to do during lockdown and that I hadn't really given you the opportunity. And same with your parents. I wouldn't want them ever to think that you hadn't been given an opportunity to do extra if you're rattling through and understanding all the work we're doing. Okay, so on to today's lesson. Now, brand new topic, everyone, okay? We're going to be doing for three or four lessons what's called standard form. Now, standard form is used a lot in real life where you are using very big numbers, so maybe how far away Mars is in meters, okay? Or you're using very small numbers, so let's say the size of an atom, okay? And the idea is with standard form, you don't start making mistakes with not getting the right number of zeros. You know, if you've got a really big number that you're writing out or you're typing, and it's got, like, say, 25 zeros, it would be very easy to just miss some of those when you're writing them out. Similarly, if you've got a very small number, like 0.0000000000023, then it'd be very easy to type that incorrectly. So this is one of these topics that really you can't say, when would I use this in real life? Because if one day, if you're an astrophysicist or you are a biologist or somebody looking at things down microscopes, you'll be using these all the time. So what is standard? Well, how does standard form work? It's for very big and very small numbers. And we've just got to start getting used to the rules. Now, the first number with standard form must always be between 1 and 10. Now, it could be a decimal like this, 5.3. It could be 5.361. It could be just 5, okay? It's just got to be between 1 and 10, as many decimal places as you need. But then you then go and do this adjustment at the end to make it very big or very small. So you multiply it by times 10 to the power of a positive number if you want to make it really big, and you multiply it by 10 to the power of a negative number if you want to make it very small. Now, what we're going to do for 2 lessons, lesson 1 today, we're going to imagine we've got a standard form number and we've got to transfer it over to just a normal ordinary number that we understand. So we're going to go today from standard form to ordinary, and then next lesson we'll do the opposite. We'll practice going from ordinary numbers to standard form. So just bear with me while I lose my keyboard. There we go. So let's practice going, converting these big numbers into ordinary numbers. And I know they're big numbers because the powers are positive. 5, 7, and 6. Those are positive powers. Now, because I know these are big numbers, I go and add some noughts to the right-hand side. So this is a working, okay? So I go and write down 6.21. And I go and pop down loads of zeros. You don't need to worry about how many, as many as you want. Now, the idea here is, because we've got a power of 5, the decimal point is going to hop along 5 places. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to hop along to there. So note how those hoops that I've done there are jumping over the numbers. And we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps. So where has my decimal point ended up? It's ended up after 3 zeros. So that was my workings. So then underneath, I can write out my new big number. So 6, 2, 1, and 3 zeros. So that is my final answer. And you can just put a little dash after 3 to the right if you want. So that's all we have to do. So let's go and do the second one. It's a positive power, so I know it's going to be a big number that I end up with. So I write down the number I've been given to start with. Again, I put lots of zeros to the right-hand side. Give yourself plenty of space for workings. And on this occasion, we're going to hop over 7 times. So 7 hops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I then go back and have a look. How many zeros am I left with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros before the decimal point. So my final answer is going to have 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then again, if you just want to make it easy to understand it, just put your dashes in working from the right. Now, I can't remember on Hegarty whether you have to put the dashes in or not. I expect you probably don't. Okay, so those are those two. I'm going to leave question 2 because I haven't really got room for it. Okay, so positive numbers, got to make them positive integer, positive power. You're going to have to make it a big number. So that's why I went and put the zeros to the right-hand side. I do the appropriate number of hops, so 5 or 7 or whatever, and then I get my answer. So that's when we're going converting to ordinary numbers where the numbers are big. Now, just to finish, we now need to look at some where we're going to be dealing with very small numbers. So, these examples here. Now note how we've got a power which is a minus. So we now know we're converting to very small numbers. So now as a working, we want to go and put the zeros on the left hand side because we want to be hopping our decimal point from right to left. So as a working, put down lots of zeros and then go and write down your 2.16. And now I'm just going to hop my decimal point 5 spaces to the left, 5 hops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my decimal point is going to end up there. So I can see my final answer is going to have 4 zeros after the decimal point. And then 216. And look, I've ended up with a really small number. Now, just by convention, just so people can actually spot where the decimal point is, we tend to always just put a 0 in front of the decimal point. So you would be expected to write 0 point whatever. Okay, right, let's do the second one, which I've called question 1. So again, as a working, I'm going to put lots of zeros to the left because it's a small number. So lots of zeros, just it's my working. Doesn't matter, just put in as many as you want. Then copy down the question, 3.9265. Note how I always include all of the digits. So for the example 1, I've used the 2.16. For question 1, I'm going to use the 3.9265. Don't start losing any of the digits. You've got to include all the digits in your answer. Now I'm going to have to hop 6 spaces to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My decimal point is ending up there. So my final answer, I can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros after the decimal point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then copy down all the digits, 39265. And then, as I said, your final answer, you then always put a 0 in front of the decimal point. Again, I don't think I'm going to do that other example. I think it's going to make this video too long. Okay. So, couple of other things I just want to point out, because sometimes Mr. Hegarty's questions include ones like this. If you've got to turn, say, 8.6 times 10 to the 1 into a normal number, well, 10 to the 1 is just 10. Okay, anything to the power of 1 is just itself. So all you've got to do here is do 8.6 multiplied by 10, which is obviously 86. So if you've got anything, any of the questions in the quiz, which are times 10 to the power of 1, your final answer you just multiply by 10. The other ones that he sometimes asks, if you've got times 10 to the power of 0, well, anything to the power of 0 is just 1. So this is like saying 8.6 multiplied by 1, which is of course, 8.6. So if you ever have any questions that Mr. Hegarty is setting, which says 8.6 times 10 to the naught, your answer is just the 8.6. So anything times 10 to the naught, just write down the numbers to start with. So I think that's covered all the bases. Oh, yes. So there we go. That's just practicing some of the questions for big numbers. So that's the Hegarty you're going to be doing, number 1, 2, 3. And just see what I've done. I've just put the zeros to the right and jumped to the right for a big number. That was question 4 for me. And then you're going to get some small ones, remember, so just put your zeros to the left. And then right at the end, so like questions 9 or 10, there's quite a bit of work to do. You're being asked to put these various numbers in ascending order. That means going from smallest to biggest. So quite a bit of work to do here. You have to do your hopping for all the parts of the question, for each of the options. Obviously 79 remains unchanged. So just go and do all your work, just changing all of those to normal numbers. So that's my working line there. And then these were my final answers here, having changed all 4 to normal numbers. And then it's easy to see which order they go. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So I could put these in ascending orders. So you might get some like that being your questions 9 and 10. So they're a bit tricky, but hopefully by then you would have got a pretty good percentage anyway. So well done, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I will go and leave you to get on with exercise 1, 2, 3.